Another unit.
Another unit. Welcome again to A10, Mr. Hegan, Mr. Kogan here, and we are getting into the urbanization unit. But this is, at this point, students are going, wait a minute, like the first 4 chapters are like right around the same time period.
Yeah.
It's like a movie. It's like, meanwhile, over here, there's a war. Meanwhile, people are coming into the country. Meanwhile, businesses are being corrupt. So
it's all because I explained to my
so
students,
much going on.
If I had to teach a survey, in chronological order, it's like, all right, we're literally going to be doing like the Civil War. Oh, time out. Let's talk about the Transcontinental Railroad.
Exactly.
Let's go back and talk about the freedmen.
And
now let's talk about Andrew Carnegie.
And then, oh my gosh.
So it's better to do it as a unit. We kind of are going back. Now we're literally going back to 7th grade right now.
Yeah, we are, because we're talking about people coming to America.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way. So anyway, we are talking about coming to America. It's nothing new when you're getting to the 1800s, because
your Pilgrims, your Puritans, your Quakers, colonial era. Why did they come?
Religious freedom.
Yes, that attracted them to come to America. The religious persecution that's forcing them out of England.
Pushing, as we're talking about this. There's loads. Of course, depending upon the time period, the risks you're taking by going across the Atlantic are gonna vary.
Yeah.
But since we ended off the last unit talking about risk, life is a risk. Not to get all philosophical here on you, but when you're talking about investing in the stock market, there's a risk there. When you're talking about moving from one place to the other, a lot of risk here, a lot of chances that people are taking.
And as the Carnegies and Vanderbilts and Rockefellers and Morgans are becoming some of the richest people of all time.
Their families had humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Very, very humble.
The people over in Europe, the people over in Asia, in Africa, they're looking at what's going on and they're like, wait a minute, we want that.
Right.
Look how rich this guy
is. The streets
must be paved with gold.
Yeah.
So
I come here, I get a job. I can go and get free land when we're talking about the Oklahoma land rush and
the Homestead Act.
The word gets out.
We refer to these factors as why people are leaving the country they're leaving, emigrating, why you are leaving a country, as what's pushing them out.
Yep.
What's making them say, we don't want to live here anymore, we want to leave our country, and forcing them or having them decide to immigrate, why they're going to come to America. What is the attraction that America
Now, even though there's a rope here, I like to think of a magnet as well, because you're saying attract, and if we're trying to say like science,
push factors. What's happening to me in my old country that's making me want to emigrate, leave, and what's going on in America that's attracting me there and pulling me there and making me want to immigrate, come into. Emigrate, immigrate, 2 different words, but they relatively mean the same thing.
Okay.
So push factors, conditions that drive people from their homes, pull factors, conditions that are attracting you to a new particular area. Now, what might make you want to leave?
Jeez, if the place I'm living in is not great, why do I want to stay?
Yeah.
So, if there's a war going on, sure. If I can't find a job, if I'm broke.
Unemployment, money.
Let's talk about money. Over in Europe, what's wrong? Oh yeah, there we go. We're talking about
why my people came.
Jeez, I thought we were gonna have to cut and go.
No, Mr. Heath's people too. The Irish came here because literally their main food source, the potato.
Yeah.
The average Irishman would eat 12 pounds of potatoes a day.
Oh, geez.
12 pounds of potatoes in a single day.
We call that Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. And then what are they looking for? Freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
Freedom. Economic opportunity.
And we go back here, religious freedom right here. Since its early beginnings.
And when I taught 7th grade, I'm like, there's a reason why religious freedom is the very first right mentioned in the very First Amendment, because it is the reason why the original immigrants come here.
So let's see, did we cover them with safety? Yeah, opportunity, stability, freedom. A lot of these also, if it's not screaming economics to you or financial to you, it's its sister, because when you look at why people are fearful in other countries, sometimes there's a lack of money that kind of contributes to that fear factor, that maybe the crime level is rising because you're living in poverty situations. But
or as my wife's family immigrated here, they were Lebanese, but they were Christian.
Right.
So they were Arab Christians who were persecuted. Wow. There. So in the late 1800s, it's why her Lebanese family moves here. You know, that persecution factor as well.
Yeah,
all right,
so
couple political cartoons.
So here we go. Religious persecution, 1600s, 1800s.
Yeah.
Persecution. I cut you off.
You know, there's a couple great political cartoons that kind of focus on push-pull factors here.
Great. Yep.
You know, this one's a little bit more clear. Ooh. Yeah, a little bit more clear, and it's letting us. It's telling us what's going on here. But at first, we got to point out this dude right here. I think it's our first introduction to him. Right?
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
It's our male representation of America. It's Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is always going to be depicted with his red and white striped pants, usually wearing a blue jacket. Sometimes he doesn't have the blue jacket on.
Sometimes he takes it off.
Sometimes
he likes to show off the guns.
Yeah, you know the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. There's the Uncle Sam, as we're talking about, our male representation.
He's on the U.S. Ark of Refuge. And,
Perfect.
you know, we kind of go biblical here.
Yeah, we're getting biblical.
It's like, what was the Ark?
Yeah.
Well, it was what Noah did to save all the animals from the great flood. Well, 2 by 2, a male and female. And I like to point out to my students.
2 by 2, yeah. People miss that.
We got people wearing very different clothing.
Yes, we do.
You know, representing the different heritages, the different ethnicities, the different countries. You know, and my kids always point to this. I guess it's the Stranger Things reference of like that smoke monster.
Yeah, I like it.
That was like looming in the cloud. What is it? What was his name? The Mind Flayer?
I forget what it is. You know, I mean, I'm a big Stranger Things fan. I mean, and of course, it's in the background. It's in their past. They're leaving it behind.
They're leaving it behind, and the sign saying no oppressive taxes, no expensive kings, no compulsory military service, meaning being forced into the military, no knots and dungeons, and the Ark that's welcoming. You see. His hands are out.
This is definitely welcoming.
Yeah, come on in. It says free education, free land, free speech, free ballot, and free lunch.
Oh, it's great.
You know, another one here. You know, going biblical again here.
Oh,
you know, it says the modern Moses. The modern Moses. Again, we have Uncle Sam in the biblical story where Moses parts the Red Sea to free the Jewish slaves from Egypt. But in the waves, we see words like tolerance, impression, oppression. Yeah. You know, and reasons why they're going to leave. So this one, we get the push and the pull. And all in the same one. So some of our push factors.
Some examples, land is scarce, unemployment when you're looking at certain countries, religious persecution, which was mentioned with as early as the Pilgrims, and even Mr. Cogan's wife already changed his name.
Brother.
He didn't even get through Ellis Island, already changed his name. Political unrest, which could mean, you know, changing of leadership or rule, war. Poverty, of course, revolution, civil war, famine, as we mentioned with the potato famine with the Irish. But all of these are going to be things that are going to make you go, you know what? I'm out. I'll see you later.
What's pushing me out?
This is what
and our pull factors. You know, what's attracting you to come to the United States?
Attractive features. You know, better jobs. You know, when we looked at previous units, when you're looking about working conditions and jobs, that's part of it when you're looking at it. Free land. You know, Oklahoma Land Rush, the Homestead Act. Think back to westward expansion. That's what they're hearing about. Religious freedom, political freedom, the ability to vote on our rulers.
I'm finding a lot of this.
Yes.
I was out last year. I had knee surgery last year, and I was out for a couple of weeks of school. So I had signed up for Ancestry.com. You know, and I found that a lot of my ancestors who were immigrating here after the famine were coming because their family was already here.
Yes.
You know, my great-great-grandfather is buried in Minnesota.
Right.
You know, found his gravesite in Minnesota. You know, he actually came over after his son did.
Right.
You know, a long time because they were already here. Those better standards of living, better education.
And here's the thing, since you're bringing that up, right? You look at push and pull factors, right? Whether it's, you know, the 1600s, the 1800s, the 1900s, the 2000s.
They never changed.
They really haven't changed.
Immigration today.
Yes.
Why are people wanting to come to the United States?
Families here, send out a message. It's great.
Whether they're trying to escape the Mexican drug cartels.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. A major reason why a lot of Mexican
higher standard of
here.
living, free education, especially when you're looking at public education.
You know,
absolutely.
So how are they getting here?
Oh my gosh! Wow. You want to talk about risk?
Woo!
And then you want to talk about, you know, oh gosh. I mean, if you're an immigrant, guess what? If you've seen Titanic,
and that doesn't even
do it justice.
So again, now we're talking about like people making money.
Oh yeah.
I own a ship.
Yep.
I know that there's a large amount of people that want to come over to America.
Right.
You know, it's like, all right, you can buy a first class ticket. You know, let's say it's $100.
Money.
You can buy a second class ticket. Let's say it's $25.
Right.
Or I'll put you down in steerage. Steerage is normally where the cargo went.
Yes.
But now, thanks to the large steamships that are coming out, these smaller ships don't have a need for cargo anymore. So their cargo were people.
Oh gosh.
So it was like you bought a ticket in steerage. There's no windows in steerage, and you're down below deck for weeks.
Yeah,
you know
that.
Depending when you're immigrating here, when the Irish and Germans first came over,
3,000 plus miles.
Yeah.
You know,
when the Irish and Germans first came over, it was a 6 to 7 week journey.
Oh my God.
As we get more close to the turn of the century in steam power, then it was more of like a 7 to 10 day journey.
Cut down.
You know, but steerage. You know, you're below deck. You're rocking back and forth. People are getting seasick. People are having to use buckets as for the restroom.
By now, you know, of course, we know definitely being in close proximity to each other, the spread of diseases like the common cold, the flu, or smallpox.
And I love this one because my students quickly pick up on what this reminds them of.
Let me see. Wow.
Ready for it?
No. Oh.
The Middle Passage.
Yeah.
You know, it's now they're not coming over as slaves.
Right.
They're coming over as willful immigrants. But the conditions that they're in, other than being chained together, was very similar to that of a slave ship.
Absolutely.
You know, if you think back to 7th grade, you know, you should have learned about the Middle Passage and the horrible conditions that they're in. You know, so look at the amount of people on this ship.
Oh my God.
You know, as they're coming into harbor, they all come up onto the deck, getting ready to see that sight they've longed to see, the shores of America. You know, similar again today. You know, Haitian immigrants trying to get here. You know,
a lot of people taking a risk.
The calendar might change.
Yes.
The reasons don't.
No, they do not.
The reasons don't. This is what they were looking for.
Ellis Island.
Or Angel Island.
Or Angel on the West Coast.
They're coming from the West Coast. Ellis Island, the main importing receiving station on the east. Angel Island, in ELA class, I know our students read Picture Bride.
So, you know, most of your immigrants who are coming through the West Coast, again, when we're looking at geography, it's just in close proximity. A lot of Asian immigrants coming here, European immigrants going on the East Coast.
This is Angel Island, this is Ellis Island. Some of you may have been there.
Oh, it's a great trip through.
I haven't been there.
I've been through the water, you know, I went on a trip.
I've been on like Circle Line through it.
I need to go.
So essentially, and this is where I'm teaching the lesson, we'll actually take a virtual trip using Google, like the Google Street View. And we go inside the Great Hall. It's nice. We see in there. Over here was actually the hospital, where if you were sick, you had to be quarantined over there if they didn't send you
because there's home. A good chance by now that you realize that there's probably people that are going to be sick when they come off the ship itself.
You know, and here's Ellis Island. You know, and this is what they were looking for. They were yearning to see Lady Liberty. You know, and interesting, she probably didn't look like that when most immigrants came over. She was still probably the bronze color.
Right, the original color.
The original color, the bronze color that she was until she gets oxidized by the saltwater air.
Such a scene.
Yeah, to be to experience this, like the journey to step, and literally, this is them. Like whatever this dude has in his suitcase, that's what he's coming to America with.
Like you wonder what each of these people are thinking.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
unless you were Irish,
right?
You don't speak the language.
English, yeah, exactly.
You know, and even the Irish were discriminated against mightily.
Everybody,
every immigrant group that comes here.
Sort of discrimination.
You know, and it's here's Ellis Island receiving station. You walk up to the counter. Tell me your name.
Yeah. What?
You know,
and again, I mean, I'm thinking this looks like livestock almost.
Yeah.
When you look there.
Yeah, the fear, the trepidation, the anxiety.
Right.
Trepidation. Look it up. Yeah, I can know some big words every now and then. You know what these people must be thinking.
I mean, taking a chance, and then you have your little ones.
Yeah, and like you said, livestock. It's like they're lined
up.
You're
you're there possibly with your little ones. Mm-hmm. You know, riding in steerage without an iPad, mind you. Okay, forget it. Oh my gosh, how many silly little mind games or things would you have to play to keep a child occupied?
It's
you
crazy.
Can't count license plates or look at the different colors.
Yeah, and like they thought when they got here, like life was going to be great.
And they were wrong.
We got here, we got to America, we've survived whatever the push factor is, and all those pull factors are here waiting for us.
All right, great.
And we'll see what happens to these immigrants on the streets.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for watching.